Let's talk about James Franklin. Let's just say that if you were getting ready for work right now, then no, you're definitely not named James Franklin.
Getting ready for work right now,
then you're not James Franklin.
If you're getting ready for work right now,
then you're not named James Franklin. Listen, I just want to start by pointing out how absolutely wild it is that he isn't getting ready for work right now as the head coach at Penn State. How absolutely wild it is that this guy's no longer the head football coach at Penn State. Once again, 3 weeks ago, this dude was ranked third in the country and still a favorite to win the Natty. 3 minutes ago, this dude was as entrenched as any coach in big-time football. 3 seconds ago, it would have been impossible to imagine a midseason firing, yet here we are. Here the bleep we are.
Here we are. Here the we are.
I guess that's what happens when you lose to Oregon, UCLA, and Northwestern in successive weeks. Franklin went from can't win the big one to can't win the small one either. Now, that said, the dude did just coach in a national semifinal. Penn State lost by 3 points to Notre Dame in a national semifinal. 6 games later, he's gone. That is without question one of the most insane implosions I have ever seen in the sport. I think in any sport. This dude's career, entire career, flipped in 3 weeks' time. Really just 2, because nobody expected him to beat Oregon anyway. After all, it was a big game. And Big Game James didn't get that nickname for nothing. He got it for his inability to ever win a single big game. So really, his life, his career, and his legacy got completely upended in virtually 2 weeks' time. Like a lifetime of work damaged in just 2 weeks. That is not easy to do. I mean, you never want to be defined by a single loss. But you could be if it were 2 losses, back to back, when you were favored by more than 20 in each of those games and you lost them both after losing yet another big game. Then you might be defined by a couple of games. But again, here the bleep we are. Here we are. Here the bleep we are. And then, of course, there is the price tag. They're going to pay this guy nearly $50 million just to go away. And look, I would do $50 million for nothing as well. As much as I like to be, yo, man, I'm all about that life. I'm all about that grind. I'm not even going to lie. If somebody came to me right now and said, hey, Rome, here's a stack. Here's a stack of $50 million. The catch is you can't work. But I love to work. But I love the jungle. But I love the clone. Yes. Yes. I'm good. I'm retired. You will never hear or see from me ever again, and I will be fine. So this dude, once he gets over the shock of it, probably already has, will be laughing all the way to the bank over this. I mean, that is so much paper to throw at somebody just to go away. I know there's a ton of money in big-time college football these days. I know the Big Ten is raising private equity. I know that Penn State has almost unlimited funds and a new Adidas deal. But $50 million is still $50 million. And that's a ton of money to give to anybody to do the work, right? $50 million to anybody to do the work is a lot of money. A pretty unfathomable sum to not work. So, a lot of people are saying, who's out there that's so great that it was worth paying Franklin $50 million to go away? There must be somebody so much better that you know you have already that you're going to pay that guy $50 million just to get the hell out of here. I don't think that's accurate. I think those who are saying that have it all wrong. I don't think that Penn State did this because of who's out there. I think Penn State did this because Penn State had to do this. I think Penn State did this. They're going to write this guy a check for $50 million because that's how toxic it had become. It got incredibly toxic, incredibly quickly, and they had to fire him now because, let's face it, somebody probably would have stabbed him if they let him stay. They had to pay him $50 million for his own good. It was like part of the witness protection program. We got to get this guy out of here, man. This is not safe. Here, go. Go. Jimbo, take your $50 million with you. Got to get this guy out in the middle of the night in a Brinks truck. I mean, I'm serious, though. Do you think the decision was more about an untenable crisis situation than there being an obviously clear next target? I do. Because who is the obvious clear next target? I mean, the usual suspects are showing up. But again, you're going to pay that guy $50 million not to coach? $50 million to get the hell out of here? You're going to fire him and pay him $50 million mid-season? Man, that is amazing. And for what? To get a shot at Curt Cignetti, who I love. To get a shot at Matt Rhule, who I love. These are two dudes that are great with the jungle. Two dudes that are currently doing really good jobs. Two dudes that are really good coaches. And Cignetti, are you kidding me? If I've never seen a guy fall from grace as quickly as Franklin has, I don't know that I've ever seen a guy turn around a college football program faster and do a better job than Curt Cignetti has done with Indiana. I mean, just stop on that for a minute. We're talking about Curt Cignetti as a possible replacement at Penn State. And he's been in Indiana for 2 years. And he had to wait until he was 62 to get that job. Not that good of a job, right? In the Big Ten. And this guy's 17-2 at Indiana? Freaking incredible. I don't know what I'm more blown away by. What's happened to Franklin in the last 3 weeks or what Cignetti has done at Indiana? Honestly, I don't know what blows my mind more. He's turned Indiana into a national powerhouse in less than a season and a half. It is one of the most absurd and impressive things I have ever seen in that sport. So here's the question. Does he even want to leave? Does he even want to leave? Now, if you're Curt Cignetti, and Indiana hooked him up, they knew what they had. They gave him a big-ass raise. I mean, if Penn State comes calling, can you say no? Do you say no? Or if you're Curt Cignetti, maybe you think Indiana was the one that finally gave me my shot, and I can win a national championship here. I don't know. Here's another question. Is he Penn State's top choice? Would Penn State hire a 64-year-old head coach? Personally, I would. Because while he may be 64, look how quickly he flipped Indiana. So if Penn State was a preseason number 2 with those resources, how quickly could he get them back on track? Right? They were already built for success. So I wouldn't care about his age. Now, what about Matt Rhule? It's my guy, Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule makes a lot of sense, too, for a ton of reasons, beginning with the fact that he played there. It's his alma mater. That's where he started as a volunteer assistant. He's never been shy about his love for Penn State football. And we know he's an incredible program builder as well. If there's one knock against Matt Rhule, if there is, it's that he just hasn't quite gotten there against top competition. That sounds kind of familiar, right?
Let's not get into it.
Now, I'm not going to air him out. But my man's lost 17 in a row against ranked opponents, and he's 0-11 all time versus top 10 teams, which sounds almost exactly like a James Franklin stat. But it's not. It's not, because we're talking about Rhule coaching against top 10 teams while he was coaching at Temple and Baylor and a rebuilding Nebraska. That's not the same as coaching against top 10 teams when you are the entrenched Penn State head coach and you're a top 10 team or a top 15 team or better. Or supposed to be. All that said, man, it does seem less than ideal to pay $50 million to run off a head coach who is a great program builder but struggles against top competition just to hire a great program builder who struggles against top competition. Normally, you would hire the opposite, right? That said, there is still going to be buzz around Matt Rhule because he does have Nebraska turned around. So much so that they are 5-1, and he did play at Penn State, and he's never hidden his love for that university, and he did address it today, and here's what he had to say.
I came here for two reasons. I love the community here and wanted to live here, and I love it here. And I wanted to rebuild Nebraska football. And, Troy and I understand the steps that you need to take to make us Big Ten champions and national champions. This place is elite. And I want to be a great father, and I want to be a great college football coach. And so, I'm not going to talk a lot about job openings when they come. Maybe it's been a while here, but this is what happens when you win. I've dealt with it. We've won at Temple, and I dealt with it all the time. I've dealt with Baylor. I'm not going to talk about those things ever. I'm not going to talk about my contract here. I'm going to talk about the team. But I absolutely love it here, and I want us to continue to take the steps needed for us to turn this thing into a beast.
That's somebody who's had to answer that question before. That was a really good answer. And you know what? It was a really good answer, but I believe him. I believe that he does love it there. I believe that he does love the people there. I believe that he does love raising his family there. Because you know what? It's an amazing place with amazing people. I've been there. I just don't know what happens if his alma mater comes knocking, and if they come knocking really aggressively. If they come knocking with a legitimate offer to coach the Nittany Lions. I don't know what Matt Rhule will do in that situation. Put it this way. I agree and believe everything he just said, but he didn't slam the door shut, did he? He didn't say, no, I'm good. Now, he didn't come right out because he's too smart. He didn't come out and say, I owe it to myself to pick up the phone if it rings. You're never going to say that. But he didn't slam the door shut. If Penn State wants that guy, if Penn State were to say, that's our guy, and they step really aggressively to him, that's probably going to be a really interesting and challenging conversation to have with his family. Because I agree with him. What he's doing is working. He's building it. It's working. He knows how to build things. He's done it before, and it is a great community. My feeling is they would be lucky to have either Cignetti or Rhule. And is there somebody else who might fit in there? Mike Elko. He's got to A&M, but doing a great job there already. So it's going to be really interesting to see where that coaching search takes us. In the meantime, if they want to look internally, they can. But look at their schedule. Nothing good's going to happen to Penn State anytime soon if you look at who's on their schedule going forward. But I got to say, to Penn State, I got to give them some credit. They didn't waste any time. They didn't drag this thing out. They knew that it was going to get worse before it got better. Franklin looked like he was absolutely beaten down. His players looked like they were beaten down. The fans were absolutely miserable. It's a proud program. They knew he could not turn the corner or fix it, and said, you know what? Let's just be done with it. We're going to have to write this guy a check no matter what. Let's just do it right now. Let's do it right now and start the healing right now. I can't believe how badly and how quickly this thing went. That it was that bad. Bad enough when he couldn't beat any elite teams. He was at least supposed to beat the teams, or he always did beat the teams that he was supposed to beat. But once that changed, it was over. Which is why if you're Big Game James, you're not getting ready for work this morning. Man, I can't believe this guy couldn't even make it to the end of the season after he started that same season, number 2 in the preseason. But again, of those 3 losses, 2 of them were to winless UCLA and then Northwestern at home. And then there's just no coming back from that. But still astonishing. Like, even to see that story, when that story broke, even I was like, holy crap, they did this guy. They actually did this guy. But that's how bad it was at Happy Valley. Hey, listen, we have an affiliate in Happy Valley. I'm almost certain of it. If you're listening right now, let me know. Let us know. Let the country know. We're on terrestrial radio nationally. We're on Sirius XM everywhere. We're on the X platform everywhere. We've got our Rome TV channel everywhere. Roku, Amazon Prime, Plex, LG, TCL, DirecTV, Vizio, Sling, Samsung TV Plus. I know there's somebody listening in Happy Valley. I have to know. What's it like? What's it been like? We're here for it. You want to commiserate? You want to vent? You want to get something off your chest? You want to let me know who you want to be your next head coach? Let's talk some Penn State football. Like, I can't believe, I knew ultimately he was going to survive, but I can't believe how badly that went as fast as it did. I mean, shocking. Oh, and then Drew Aller. He's done. Now you're done. God, what a year.